Right. So the arguments I'm getting, what, you had a laptop that had internet access? No, I didn't. I had a laptop. It did not have internet access unless you connected to a Wi-Fi outlet. This was 2008. The Wi-Fi's, the computer that I had did not have its own built-in data the way that my cell phone does. It was a very old, worn down laptop that at that point would not even function unless it was plugged in constantly, which is why it blew up when the investigators tried to mess with it. I told them when I gave them the laptop that it wouldn't even work unless it was plugged in. It wouldn't hold a charge at all. So the idea that I could have just magically connected to this Wi-Fi connection that was not open on a laptop that would not work very well is ludicrous. I told you what happened. I was locked in the truck the entire time. He locked me in the truck, telling me that if I opened the door, the alarm would sound and he would hear it. And if he didn't catch me, he had friends who would hunt me down. This is something that I have lived with for over a decade. And having people come into my life and start rewriting the story and telling me what really happened and telling me, we have proof that you did this or you could have done this or you didn't do this. If you have all of this proof, you should go to the police. But instead, you have spent a year emotionally terrorizing me to try to make me confess to a crime that I did not commit. And you think that if you just keep putting pressure on me, eventually I will cave in and just confess. I am never going to confess to a crime that I did not commit. Period. Kenneth McBride murdered Roberta Laws. Had I not been involved, another woman would have been. Because Kenneth McBride was on Craigslist with an alternate identity, meeting women who were disabled, trying to find one stupid enough to be lured in and held there. And he thought that he would be able to hold me there forever, the way that he was able to hold her there forever. But I wasn't confined to a wheelchair. And I was able to escape him. There's no telling what would have happened if another woman had been the one drawn in. Maybe she would have been killed. And then he would have gone on to another one. And another one. Even the people in the jury said that he would have killed me. There was no doubt in anybody's mind that he was going to kill me. In fact, when they picked him up, they said that he had just gone to the store and picked up some lye and a shovel and things that he would need to dispose of me when he found me. I was young and had already suffered through an entire lifetime of abuse from my family, who had denied any problems with me, any mental illnesses. At that point, I had been diagnosed. I had been in mental hospitals. I was diagnosed as schizoaffective. My family says that's not true, but the court records don't lie, do they? Y'all have all of my psychiatric records. You know, Kathy says there's not any abuse in this family. But then she also laughs and said, well, Mary used to hurt herself when she was just a kid. She was just a little child scratching herself for attention. No. If a child is self-harming, that's a sign that there's something mentally not okay. It's a sign of autism. It's a sign that the child is being abused, that they're used to being hurt. But no, you know, it's a child that wants attention. Even to this day, my family is still claiming that my severe mental health problems are just for attention. But those are the people that you're going to trust and believe, right? Over court documents, over everything. Over the fact that I have not been in jail for the murder that you claim I so clearly committed. There is nothing stopping any of you from contacting the police and reopening the case. You have tried. You've already contacted Kenneth in prison. You wrote him letters last year telling him about me. You wrote him letters giving him my current address. You don't even remember that? It was just last year you did this. You wrote letters to a convicted murderer in prison, giving him the known details about one of his victims who turned him in. You have spent a year mentally and emotionally abusing a witness in this trial, which is exactly why you will never go to the police to have it reopened, because you know that after a full year of your abusive manipulation, I would not be able to even be talked to. Y'all fucked yourself up, didn't you? If you really wanted to put me in prison for a crime I didn't commit, maybe you should not have mentally and emotionally destroyed me before going to the police and saying, hey, we got her ready for you. See, we did the work for you. We broke her down. She's ready to say anything you want her to. All you gotta do is take her in. And the cop's gonna look at you and say, well, you tainted the case. You fucked yourselves. Because we can't take a case that she has severe mental health issues, and you've been drilling this into her brain for a year. You have been drilling into me what happened. This is what happened. This is what happened. This is what happened. This is what happened. We have proof. All the proof in the world. Then do something. Do something. Kathy's already sued me, 4 times since I became homeless? She's got this family lawyer that can win any case without even having to go to court, right? She can do anything she wants. So why am I still not in prison? Is it possible at all? Is it at all even just the slightest, tiniest bit comprehensible that maybe they haven't come and arrested me yet because I have not done anything? Because you can't just reopen a case where the person who has been charged pled guilty and pled principal, and there is no more investigation to be done. All of the arguments that y'all are giving are your theories. They're not based on the evidence that you have. You have evidence that I had a laptop, and you created the theory that that laptop must have worked exactly like today's smartphones and must have had its own Wi-Fi connection and must have been able to do anything. This was 2008. Why would my personal laptop have had its own Wi-Fi connection? Why would the neighbors around have had unlocked signals that I could attach to? Why would he have had the house unlocked for a signal that I could attach to at that moment? I can't argue it anymore. I have been mentally beaten down over the past year by my own family. And the reason my own family is doing this is because they never loved me. They were always abusive. And when my grandmother passed away, Kathy did something to that will. And they need me to be hated eternally so that nobody ever looks into what they did to that will. If everybody hates me, if nobody will ever listen to what I am saying and believe me, nobody will ever look into what Kathy did to that will. And then the family gets away with taking everything and leaving me homeless. And that was their entire plan when Kathy came on YouTube. To deny any of my mental health issues, to deny any of the abuse I suffered, and to villainize me so that nobody would ever believe me when I told them what she did after my grandmother passed away to that inheritance that I was supposed to receive. That's what's really happening. That's what's really needs to be investigated. Y'all have done all of the investigation into the Kenneth McBride murder. Do the investigation into Evelyn Gove's trust fund and her last will and testament. You won't. You won't do any investigation into that. But you'll keep going over and over and over this murder case that has been solved for a decade, that has the perpetrator is in prison, and you're going after the witness. For over a year, you have gone after the witness. It's called witness tampering. It's called emotional abuse. It's called terrorism. It's called bullshit. And I'm so tired of it. And y'all will say, well, just all you have to do is stop making videos. All you have to do is die. No, thank you. My family has needed me to die for a very long time. And it hasn't happened yet, has it?